Hello everybody, my name is Gilbert Lawrence and this is my game pitch, Sorrow. Players fight to survive. They are basically scoungering areas to look for better weapons, to upgrade their characters, and basically increase their chances of survival and later in the game. The players basically have different abilities they can upgrade, stocks, and weapons. Abilities are going to be something like stamina, be able to run faster and longer. Stock is basically how much ammo they can carry or how much health kits they may be able to carry. Weapons are going to be basically increased damage, better accuracy, etc. Rules are basically going to be you're going to be fighting common enemies throughout the 7 levels. You're going to have the limited resources. Basically, everything's not going to last forever. If you have 10 bullets and once you use those 10 bullets, you can't use the gun unless you find more ammo. Same with like if you find like a wrench or something, you can only hit so many enemies until it finally breaks. The goal is basically you're going to try to scounger everything you can to find loot, collectibles. You will have to solve puzzles. These puzzles are basically allow you to advance through a door to let you continue on through the game. You'll have to disarm traps so that you don't alert enemies. Obviously, if you alert enemies, that'll create a whole new fighting style for you. A bunch of enemies will come and attack you. You're going to have basically just 3 different enemies you'll counter throughout the game. You'll have just the common enemies that you'll go throughout. These enemies will just be walking around. They can be easily defeated. You have your sub-bosses, and these bosses are basically they'll be holding a key item that you have to advance into the next stage of the game. And then you have the main bosses that'll help you clarify why they're there, exactly how many you're going to be defeating. The bosses, the sub-bosses and the bosses, you're only going to counter, basically the sub-bosses will be roughly around 4 and the bosses will be about 3. It's basically a survival horror that just basically has scare tactics and has the combat style to help basically keep the player interested. You're going to have different choices to make. These are going to be if you want to choose this different path to be able to go this way to avoid enemies or not. You can basically complete it as fast as possible to move on, or you can collect everything you want to have the best upgrades for your next playthrough. It's basically a third-person horror perspective. This basically games are kind of like Left 4 Dead, BioShock, Dead Island. And the difference between these games is that most of the games here have a co-op. Mine's single player to kind of keep that you basically the only one that's going to be able to have by your side, and you're going to have to make your decisions wisely. More games, the kind of that darker feel is the Resident Evil, Silent Hill, and the Evil Within genres. You're going to have harder difficulties. There are going to basically be 2 difficulties. They're going to be normal and nightmarish. Nightmarish, so the enemies are going to be a little stronger, harder to defeat, and a little more alert. You're going to have the psychological scares that basically you're going to see someone come around a corner and scare you, or something's going to happen that you didn't expect. You're going to have a lot of issues making a survival horror game. One of the most is basically going to be the texturing and the layout. You have to get that feel rightly. It has to be very dark and ominous to kind of get the player to kind of feel at his edge of the seat and kind of scared already. And some of the other things would be basically, getting the movement controls, the fighting style, and the AI, to coexist within the level. And that is my game, and thank you very much.